Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another session of online class. So we will be starting on revision session as from today for paper 3. And for today's session, we are going to focus on religion and the different religious organization. So when talking about religion, what is religion? It is a set of beliefs which include an idea of God or an idea of supernatural force or something which simply exists beyond our direct experience. Nous avons différents types de croyances. Nous avons 3 types de croyances, which are monotheistic belief, polytheistic belief, and non-theistic belief. Monotheistic belief is believing in one single God, and this is seen in Christianity and Islam. Polytheistic belief means believing in many gods, which is seen in Hinduism. And then we have the non-theistic belief, that is, there is no worship of God, and this is seen in Buddhism. When we talk about religion, it also means the idea of practicing things. Nous vous mettre un truc en pratique, par exemple, il est capable en termes de prière, mais aussi il est capable en termes de cérémonie, telles que mariage ou bien funeral, mais aussi il y a certain religious festivals which are associated with religion. Religion is also some types of organization which allows practices and beliefs to be expressed collectively. Ça veut dire que nous pouvons pratiquer une religion, nous pouvons mettre une croyance, nous pouvons exprimer en termes de groupe, ok? Et il y a une place réservée pour exprimer certaines croyances religieuses. We have the church, we have the mosque, or it can be a meeting hall. Mais aussi, nous avons une personne qui est employée par une religious organization. Okay, why? Simply to look after the well-being of their believers. We have the priest, for example, we have an imam. Okay, now when we're talking about religion, we have different religious organizations in the society. We have the church, we have denominations, we have sect, cults, we have the New Age movement, which is also known as the New Age ideas. So first we are going to consider the church. The church is one of the major religious organizations in the world today. And one of the first writers who talked about the different types of religious movements or organization was Troelt. And he used the term church to refer to large religious organization. So normally in a church, to be member of a church, it is not necessary for people to demonstrate their faith. And also a church tends to be universal, that is, they welcome all the members of the society. Et in a certain group de personnes, in a certain minorité de personnes who do not belong to the church. One of the characteristics of the church is that they are directly related to the state. For example, we have the Roman Catholic Church in the Middle Age. Par exemple, en Angleterre, the Queen is both the head of the church, but also the head of the country, that is the state. And also when we're talking about church, they tend to claim a monopoly of truth. That is, they have the view what is right around the world, that is their God, their morals, their values, and every other religion or views are completely wrong. Also, they do not tolerate challenges to its religious authority. Ben l'église, that is the church, they tend to claim the monopoly of truth. Monopoly of truth, c'est tout simplement ce qui, whatever they believe in, whatever they believe are, it is only right about the world, and all other ideas are completely wrong. And also they do not tolerate when somebody challenges their religious authority or simply their beliefs. And also in the church, we tend to have large bureaucratic hierarchical structures. And also they tend to pay their churchmen. They have professional paid churchmen. One of the very big church that we have, the very major big church that we have around the world, in the world today, is known as the Roman Catholic Church, and it is the largest Christian church worldwide. Another type of religious movement is the denomination. The denomination has practically similar characteristics of the church, but not all. They do not have a universal appeal to the society, unlike churches. That is, the church tend to welcome everybody in the society, but denomination, no, they do not do that. But compared to the church members tend to be people belonging mostly to the upper class and middle class. But for denomination, they tend to have members from all strata of the society. Okay? And also in terms of being related to the state, denomination do not relate to the state. They approve a complete separation of the church and the state. Ça veut dire qu'ils n'ont aucune relation avec pays, avec gouvernement or whatsoever. And also, they do not claim the monopoly of truth, but they tend to tolerate and cooperate with other religious movements in the society. Ça veut dire, en termes de the monopoly of the truth, they respect other religious members of the society. Okay? And also in terms of the norms and values of the mainstream society, members of denomination, they accept the norms and values of the society, but they tend to place certain restrictions on their members. So those belonging to denomination, they accept the norms and values of the society, how the society is functioning, and they respect it. Mais seulement de ben personnes qui belong to denomination, the groupe, the religious group, the place certaines restrictions. Par exemple, one of the famous denomination that we have is the Methodist. Okay, so what type of a restriction that they tend to put into for their members, or they tend to discourage their members from drinking and gambling. But they do tolerate drinking in moderation. But they do not exclude those from the organization. Ça veut dire, en termes de restrictions, je te décourage ben personnes pour boire, ben boisson alcoolisée, mais aussi en termes de gambling. Mais seulement si une personne, from time to time the person drink, they tend to tolerate it, but they do not exclude them from the organization. And also en termes de similarité par rapport à church, if somebody wants to be admitted into the religious organization, they can do so freely. And also, they have paid officials similar to the church. Okay, ça veut dire que c'est ben prêtre qui sont payés pour travailler pour eux. So examples of domination that we have today is the Baptist, we have Methodist, and also we have the Seventh-day Adventist. Okay. Another type of religious movement is sect. Sect is the complete opposition of church in terms of characteristic. comparé à church se membership n'est plus beaucoup. There are billions of people in a church. Mais par contre, un sect, il y a un small membership, a small group of members. And also when we're talking about sect, it is mostly connected to lower classes, or at least those people who are completely against the state and the society. Ça veut dire une personne qui normalement est membre de une secte, c'est plutôt une personne qui complètement against the norms and values of the society. Okay, so those members, they tend to belong to lower classes. And also when talking about the typology of religious organization by Wallace, he tend to consider sect as being deviant. Why qu'il fait il considère sect as being deviant? C'est tout simplement parce que ben sect normalement ne pas accepter ben norms and values around the world. Et surtout mainstream society that surrounds us. They reject every norms and values. This is why they are considered as being deviant. Et aussi ben sect demande high level of commitment from their members, and they have a high level of integration. If you belong to a sect, you are supposed to commit to it. Whatever they say, you have to accept it. And also, they do not have inclusive membership. That is, in terms of membership, it has to be conscious, it has to be voluntarily. Okay? Ça veut dire, c'est pas force une personne pour rentrer dans secte là. You have, if you want to enter the sect, they are going to welcome you open arms, and it has to be voluntarily. And also, sect normally do not have young children. Okay? Why? Because they are not young enough. De pas accepter ben enfants, tout simplement parce que ben enfants sont pas assez mature to understand the significance of ceremony. And thus, what happens is that parents, when they become adult, if they want to join in voluntarily, then they will be accepted into the sect. Okay, but then they must accept the lifestyle and the beliefs of the sect. Et aussi en termes de contrôle, ben sect they exercise greater control over the life of their members. Okay, and also they tend to possess the monopoly on truth. Ça veut dire pour eux, the norms and values of the society is not acceptable. The belief of other religious groups are not acceptable. For them, whatever they learn in their sect is the only thing that tend to be acceptable for them. And also, they do not have hierarchy of paid officials. Ça veut dire, the paid and churchman, which is paid to conduct the prayer or to look for the well-being of the believers, but they have a charismatic leader. Okay, so example of sect that we tend to have today is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day, which is also known as the Mormons. And also we have in terms of Islam, we have the Sunni Islam, and then we have the Shia Islam. Now coming to cult, okay? So in terms of religious organization, we also have cult. So normally cult, they lacked a religious doctrine and they have very loose religious beliefs. And they are very open to wide interpretation by their members. Okay? Et en termes de cult, normally it is very open. That is, they tend to welcome you open arm, but also it is like you are a customer. That is, you are free to go. If you want to re-enter the group, you can. If you want to leave the group, you can also. And also they have lack of strict rules compared to sect. Okay, and also there is very little involvement by being a member. Ça veut dire si vous êtes dans un cult, anytime you can leave the cult, but also they do not have any rules that you have to follow. And also there is very little commitment. Okay, and also they are tolerant of other religious beliefs. That is, there is no monopoly of truth. They tend to respect other beliefs of other religious groups. And one of the famous cult is Scientology. Okay, so this was some of the religious movement that we have. So for our next class, we will have a recap session on other religious organization. Okay, more precisely on the New Age ideas. And also on Monday, we will have a different explanation on the processes of the selection and presentation of the media content, which has been proposed on the group. If you have other proposal, please do not hesitate to put a comment in the group, or you can contact me personally.